Hi, if you are watching my video for the first time, I am Teja. I'm working as a technical team lead. I have recently started AI Zero to Hero course, so I'm going to help you to understand the AI terms in a simpler way. And this is my day 3. In day 3, we are going to discuss about how to talk to LLMs in GCP using LangChain. If you are new to this AI, I suggest you to go through the last 2 videos and continue this video. Okay, now let us try to note down step by step procedure, so how we can communicate to LLMs which are in Google Cloud. To do that, first we need a GCP account, a GCP free trial account. So if you don't have the GCP free trial account, I have already made a full length video on how to create an account and what issues you may get while you are dealing with the payment method. So please go through the video and create a GCP free trial account. And once you have the GCP free trial account, you need some softwares to be installed on your local. So you need to install Python, and you need to install UV. UV is also a package manager, same like a pip. It is better than pip. So you need to install Python and UV on your local. The next thing is on GCP console. So you need to do couple of things. First, you need to create an account. So once you have an account, you need to create your project. You need to create a project in GCP, that is a segregation for your work to be done on the cloud. And the next thing you have to done is enable APIs. So we have to enable APIs in agent platform. So agent platform is a Vertex AI. So previously it is Vertex AI, now it is renamed to agent platform. So once you create a project in GCP, so by default it will ask you to enable the APIs. So the APIs has to be enabled in order to communicate with the LLMs which are in the GCP. And once it is done, so on your local laptop, so we need to configure gcloud. So first we need to install gcloud, and then we have to configure it by running some commands. Gcloud init is the initial command. So it is for authenticating to the GCP. So once you initiate your gcloud init, so you will be authenticating to your GCP account via CLI. So this is first authentication, and then you need to also perform another authentication. So the next thing you need to configure is gcloud auth application default login. So what is the difference between gcloud init and gcloud auth application default login? So this gcloud init is for gcloud CLI. So when you run some gcloud commands, it will access the services which are in your GCP account. So gcloud auth application default login is for your Python or LangChain to communicate with the Google Cloud APIs. So when your applications or Python or your LangChain framework want to communicate with Google Cloud APIs, so this Google Cloud Authentication application default login is going to help you. So you need to configure two things, gcloud init and gcloud auth application default login. So once you have this setup done, then we can initialize a repository by using UV. So UV is just a package manager. So you can create your project structure by using UV. The command to create a project structure by using UV is UV init dot. So in a folder, when you run UV init dot, so it is going to create your project structure, and we are going to see what is that structure and what files it is going to create inside. And then you can use UV to install packages as well. So in our case, we need a package called LangChain because we are using LangChain to communicate to the LLMs in the GCP. So we need to install LangChain, and we also need to install LangChain Google Gemini. So this is another package which helps us to communicate with the GCP packages which are available in the Google Cloud. And then we are going to use one more Python package which is python-env. So this helps us in storing our environmental variables in the UV environment. So we are going to see how we gonna do all these steps, but these are the steps we need to follow in order to communicate to the LLMs which are in GCP by using LangChain. So once you have these packages installed, then you need to write your main.py with logic to communicate to the LLMs in the GCP. Okay, so these are the steps we need to follow in order to communicate to the LLMs which are in GCP by using LangChain. So we need a free trial GCP account, that can be free trial or any advanced one. So we need to install Python and UV in your local laptop. On the GCP console, we need to create a project, enable APIs in agent platform. On your local laptop, you need to install gcloud, and you need to initialize gcloud, and then you need to authenticate gcloud by application default login so that your Python or LangChain frameworks will communicate to the Google Cloud APIs, and then you will be initializing a project and installing the packages and creating your main.py logic. Okay, let's get started with the implementation. So let me open my gcloud account. So once you have your GCP free trial account created, you can access it by using console.cloud.google.com. And once you log in, so you will be seeing this project section. So if you click on this section, so I already have my AI02 Hero project created, but I am going to create new project, and I am going to give the name as AI02 Hero 1, and billing account. So I have my default billing account and rest everything by default, and click on create. So if you check these notifications, it is showing there is some issue with the project. The project specified is not available. Please select another. The identifiers must be unique. Let me do one thing. Let me go here and create one more project called as AI 02 hero new, and let's see if it creates. Yeah, billing account has to be provided. Create. Let's see now. Yeah, now it has been created. The project is ready. If you click on this icon, you can see my new project created. And there are some things to be noted down here. So this is my project name and this is my project ID. This is my project ID. So while configuring Google Cloud Init, so we need to provide this project ID. Now let's go to the next step, creating a project and enable APIs. So if you want to access the LLMs which are available in the GCP, so initially there is something called Vertex AI. So we used to enable it. Now it has been moved from Vertex AI to Agent platform. So go to this three icon, click on Agent platform, and you can see welcome to Agent platform, and you can also see something here. Vertex AI is now Agent platform. And you should enable APIs, but before that you should enable billing here. So generally billing will be by default enabled. Somehow it is not enabled. So I am enabling the billing. Got it. So it is stating you have reached the limit of projects on which you can enable billing. You can request an increase in your billing quota if you need to enable on additional projects. So as we are using free trial account, so there are some restrictions. Let me do one thing. Let me go to manage resource and then let me delete this AI0201 and see what it does. On three dots, delete. So I'm deleting this AI0201. Let me refresh. Still there. Let me try to delete again. Let me do one thing. Let me go back and come to this agent platform section again. Agent platform. I'm still on enabling mode. So why this one is not getting deleted? Let me go to manage resource again. AI0201. I want this to be deleted. I'm clicking on delete. Yeah, I think this didn't came initially. Maybe now it will delete. Shutting down the project. Project is now shut down. Let me refresh. Let me go to agent platform again. Let me click on our new project. Enable billing. And I suppose it should be working now. If not, I will try to delete one more project. If you look at here, the error has been gone. So now it is asking me to enable APIs. So I will be enabling API, enable. So there is no need of me to create another new project because I already have the existing project. But when I use that existing project, these steps can't be replicated. I can't show you these steps. So to show you all the steps, what you are going to get when you are creating a new project and enabling the APIs. So I am recreating the stuff. So these APIs are getting enabled. So we need to wait till those are enabled. And meanwhile, we can install Google Cloud on our local laptop. So let me open PowerShell. So you can see my PowerShell. So how can you install G-Cloud? Go to the Google and search for G-Cloud CLI on Windows. So if you look at this URL, you can find you have multiple operating systems available. For Windows, this is the one. So just copy this and paste it in your PowerShell. So it is going to install G-Cloud for you. For me, it is already installed. I am not running the commands. If I search for G-Cloud version, I will be getting my version which is already installed. But if you don't have the G-Cloud locally, so you can just copy it and paste it in your PowerShell. So it is going to install the G-Cloud for you. And then the next thing would be G-Cloud init. For me, I have already initialized, so that's why it is showing me two options. So I will try to create a new configuration. I will take option 2. It wanted me to start a new case. I don't want it. I will do one thing. I will take the step 1, reinitialize. So when I click on 1, so it will ask you to select an account. My account is the first one. So if you want to sign in with new Google account, so you have to check the option 3. And once it is done, if you look at here, so it is asking me to select my project. So this is my new project. Rest all are my older projects. So I'm providing number 2. And do you want to configure a default compute region zone? No, I don't want to configure any region. Done. So if you want to check whether it got configured or not, let me clear the screen. Gcloud config list. So this is my email ID and this is my project which got configured. So there are two things you need to configure. One thing is your email ID and the other thing is your project ID. But when you are doing it for the first time, it will ask you to sign in. For me, it is not asking me to sign in because I have already configured my Gcloud accounts. Or else let me try to show you that also if I can reiterate. I want to reinitialize Google Cloud Init. I want to reinitialize and I will take option 3 now. Sign in with new Google account. If you look at here, so this is how you will be redirected to your Gmail account for sign in. just allow, and now you are authenticated. If you go back to your PowerShell, you can see the project IDs which are available in your G-Cloud account. So I am checking for number 2. Number 2 is my new project ID, and then configure a default compute region zone. No, I don't want to. Then you got connected. So that's how you need to authenticate your Google CLI, G-Cloud CLI. And then you have to make authentication available for your Python or LangChain to communicate to the Google Cloud APIs. For that, you need to do the next step. G-Cloud auth application default login. So again, it will be redirecting to a sign-in page. Just select your email and then continue. Then you are authenticated. Now both the authentications has been configured. Now both the authentications has been configured. So everything that you need to perform on the G Cloud side is completed. Yep. So we have configured the things on GCP console, and we have configured the G Cloud things on the local laptop as well. There are few more things pending, which is installing Python, installing UV, and then creating a folder, and then initializing the stuff, and then writing our main Python logic to authenticate or communicate to the LLMs which are available. Okay, now let's go to the next step, which is installing Python and UV on your local. So to install Python, I suggest you to install it by using Winget. Winget is Windows Package Manager. Winget install Python. So when you search for Winget install Python, so you will be getting this command. Run it on your PowerShell. I am not going to run it because I already have Python. Python hyphen version. So I already have the Python installed, so I am not running any Python. And the next thing would be installing UV. So once you have the Python installed, you can install UV by using Python install UV. I am not pip install UV. Sorry, I am not going to run this command as well because I already have UV installed. So UV is a package manager, same like a pip, but it is more faster than the pip package manager for the Python. So once you have them ready, then the next thing would be creating a folder and make it a project structure by using UV init dot and adding the packages. For that, what I'm going to do, I will use my Visual Studio Code. So let me get my Visual Studio Code. And I want to create a new folder. So for that, open folder. I'm going to perform this on my desktop. I will create a new folder and I will name it as LLM check, or I will name it as LLM GCP check, and I will use this folder. Yes, I trust. So once you have this folder created, open a new terminal. So it will open the terminal for you, and here you can run your commands. I will be using UV init dot. So if you look at the folder now, so it has initialized the Python environment. So it has a basic main.py file, it has project.toml which has all the dependencies required for the Python, and it has a .gitignore file. It has generated the whole environment of Python project. And then you will be adding all your packages. So uv add install all your packages which are required for your project. I am going to add all these packages. Go to Visual Studio Code, just run this command. So these are all the packages which are required to run your application so that your LangChain can communicate with the LLMs which are in the GCP. So how can we confirm whether these are all are installed? If you reopen your py project toml file, you can see the packages. So this package got added, this package got added, and this package got added. And now our main logic. So I'm going to create another file called as utils.py. I'm not going to use main.py, and from where I can get this logic. So the logic can be done in two development languages, that can be on Java or that can be on Python, but I am using Python. So let me use the official LangChain documentation. I'm not going to get it from anywhere. I will use the official LangChain documentation. LangChain integration with GCP. Where is it? Yeah, Google integration docs by LangChain. This is the one. If you go into this Google integrations with LangChain, this is a LangChain document which is in Python. It is available in Java as well. If you drop down, you can see it. And once you scroll down to a section, Google Generative AI. So this Google Generative AI helps us in communicating to the models which are available in the GCP. So if you click on this chart Google Generative AI, it will route you to a page where you can find the exact logic how you can communicate to the GCP LLMs. So there are a couple of ways in communicating with Vertex AI. If you remember, this is Vertex AI we are talking about. So if you are a developer, so we can make use of this Gemini developer AI. And there are other ways as well by using LangChain Google Chart Generative AI model. So Vertex AI with API key, this is not the best way now. And another way is by using Vertex AI with credentials. So if you are using this way, so there is no need of you to provide the credentials because we have already authenticated the credentials by using this gcloud auth application default login. So when you run this command and when you authenticate on the browser, so it will store the credentials on the local, and the credentials will be used as a authentication method in this way. But in the Vertex AI with API way, so you need to provide the API key, but this is not the best practice right now. So in the production stuff, so it is better to use Vertex AI with the credentials. So this one we already logged in. I mean, we already ran this command. So these application default credentials are already configured in your local. So those credentials will be helpful for your LangChain or your Python to communicate with the Google Cloud APIs. Okay. In order to communicate, so you need to export these variables. But there is another way by using Python .env. So in order to use that python.env, so you have to create a .env file. So this .env file you can put your variables. So first thing you have to mention is your project, and next thing you have to mention is your location. So by default it is US central one, but it's always better to provide the region. But from where we can get this Google Cloud project ID? That is the first thing we have discussed when we are creating project. If you click on this, oh, what happened? Yeah, this is my project ID. This is my project. Oh, my bad. Not copied. AI 0 to hero new. I hope it is copied now. Let me paste it. Okay, when you are using this method, there is no need of you to provide the API key because the credentials are already configured on your local. So now I am going to write my main logic from LangChain underscore Google underscore Gen AI. I'm going to import chart Google generative AI. So this is a module and this is a class. And I'm going to import from .env import load.env. So why is this packages are required? So if you remember, we have created one .env file and we are storing all our variables there. To make sure these variables are passed to our Python environment, so you need to have this .env Python package. And once you have the package available, and then you will be loading those envs. So once you load those envs, all of them are available as an environmental variable for this package. And then we have to communicate with the LLM by using chart Google Generative AI. If you go to this documentation, see, so you want to communicate with this LLM, so you will be using chart Google Generative AI, and you have to define the model. So which model you want to use. So I will be using the same model, but I will be going to use Flashlight, Gemini 2.5 Flashlight. So now we have the LLM defined and the model defined and the packages which are required to communicate is defined. But how can I query a LLM from this logic? That is by using a method called invoke. So there is a method called invoke which is derived from the runnable in the Python, I mean in the LangChain. So that is going to help us. That is going to help us to communicate to the LLM. Okay. So when you use the method llm.invoke, so you can mention your query. So I will be asking something like, what is 2 plus 2? An arithmetic operation. So and I am going to pass this result to a variable called result. And there is something called prettyprint that is going to show the output in a better way. That is also a method for the result. So we can use this prettyprint method, prettyprint, that is going to show the result in a better way. So we have taken required packages and we have used the model and we have used the invoke method and we have used the prettyprint method. So let's see whether my code is going to work or not. So on the terminal, I am going to use or run the code we have written. uv run utils.py. So there is some issue. Okay, this extra thing got copied to the pretty pint. Okay, let me run this again. uv run utils.py. So if we have configured everything properly, it should print the output as 2 plus 2 means 4. Let's see. Yeah, there is an error. API key required for the Gemini developer API. So it is trying to look for the Gemini developer API, but that is not true. We are trying to authenticate by using Vertex AI. There is one more thing we have missed here. So if I get into the document, let me go in here. So there should be one more variable that has to be present. If you are using Vertex AI with credentials, there is one more one. Yeah, this one. Google Gen AI use Vertex AI. It should be true as well. So you should put it as true. So let me use this. So this variable I have missed. So you have to configure this variable. So if you want to communicate by using Vertex AI, right now it is agent platform. So you have to make it as true. Google Gen AI use Vertex AI equal to true. Otherwise, it is not going to work. So you have to define this as true. Let me clear the screen and run uv run utils.py. Now what's the issue? Okay, it is stating Gemini flashlight is not found. So there is some issue with the model we are using. It is stating that the model Gemini flashlight is not found. Let me try to use some models. Gemini 2.5 flashlight. That should be there. Let me see what are other models available. Let me go to project, models, model garden. So in the model garden, you can find all the LLM models available. Let me search for Gemini models. Gemini 2.5 flashlight is not there. Gemini 3.1 flashlight is there. Let me try to use that model name. Gemini 3.1 flashlight. Let me save it and run it. It is okay to encounter errors. So when you get an errors, that's the way you will learn. So we should read the errors and then get the things resolved. Again, it is stating it's not available. It's there, right? Model garden, search for Gemini. Okay, we have Gemini 3.5 flash. Gemini 3.5 flash is better version. For testing, I don't think that is required. But if nothing is working out, I will use the same Gemini 3.5 Flash. There is some issue with the model, so it should not be an issue. Gemini 3.5 Flash. So where you can find the model name, if you click on the model, scroll down and you can find the model name here. This is the model name. And I'm using that model. Now let's see what the error it throws. Really? Some issue with the region? So the default region should be US Central 1 only. I think the region should be US Central 1, not US Central. Let me save the region and clear the screen and run it again. I think some issue with the region because I mentioned US Central, it should be US Central 1. .5 flash is not working. Now let me try to use 2.5 flash light. Let me save it and run it. So we are not facing any issue with the authentication or any other issues, but we are facing issue with the model which is available in the location. So see, what is the output? 2 plus 2 equal to 4. So we have to make sure we have provided the proper region, and we also have to make sure we have provided the proper model. Okay, that's how you can communicate to the LLMs which are available in the GCP. I hope you guys liked it. If you have any comments, please comment in the comment box. I know there are some tricky part in the code. So to understand this, you need to have some Python development understanding. So what is module, what is class, and how we are loading these environment variables. All these things need to be understand step by step. So those is a little tricky when you are new to the development. I suggest you to have some understanding on Python oops and then start your LangChain development, or else you can debug what code I have written and decode step by step to understand what exactly it is doing. So in the modern era, there is no need of you to write the code from the scratch, but at least you should know what is happening in the code and what logic is working. Okay, that's it for the video. Thank you so much for your time. Bye bye.